Hi everyone, good evening. So I wanted to do this little video just because a lot of people have been asking me about card reading. I suggest to a lot of my clients when I do readings or when I do healings, I suggest for them to get a pack of oracle cards or tarot cards just because I think that they are fucking amazing for having guidance in your life. I often think of them as like parents that tell you off, because a lot of the time I ask questions that I kind of know the answer to, but I don't really want to know the answer to, and the cards just affirm what I was already thinking, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, and put them away. Don't shout at your tarot cards, it's not their fault. So the first thing that I want to just briefly touch on is how to choose your pack of cards, because one of my friends asked me this yesterday, and she was worrying about some of the descriptions say they're not good for beginners or any of that bollocks. I generally don't play by any of the rules. I think that we're going very much into an age of Aquarius, where everything's a lot more like channeled, intuitive, going by your gut instinct rather than going by what someone else says. So I literally would say go with whatever fucking pack you're drawn to. I have loads of different ones. Like, this is the main tarot deck that I use. It's a bit dark for some people because some of the cards are a bit dark, but these are the ones that I was drawn to. You can get the traditional Rider-Waite tarot as well, and then you can get loads of oracle cards. So the difference between oracle cards and tarot cards, for those of you that don't know, oracle cards are completely created by someone in that they don't follow the same sets and suits as tarot does. So if you imagine like a pack of playing cards, they have always the same suit no matter what they look like. That's basically how it is with tarot cards. You may get different artwork and you may get slightly different interpretations, but they very much have to stick to a framework and to call themselves tarot. Oracle cards or spirit cards, they can be whatever the fuck they want. I was joking the other day that I wanted to do some goat spirit cards, like spirit of goat, just because I like goats and I thought it'd be funny. But I've got like native spirit cards. These are the first ones I ever got. Super good and easy for beginners, and they've just got really nice energy. And these, the last couple that I got was Isis Oracle and Mary Magdalene Oracle. So yeah, I've got a nice selection there. So yeah, that's the basic difference between them. But yeah, just literally go for whatever pack you are drawn to. So just have a little Google, have a look. They all have very different energies. So I have some cards that I'm particularly drawn to work with in some periods of time or some days. So as I said, other people think these feel quite dark. I love them. I just think they feel all shamanic and awesome. And then some days I want to be super bright and use like colour cards. So pretty much listen to your intuition with everything. A little bit of housekeeping. Before I do readings, it's really, really, really important, in my opinion, to call in protection. So it's super, super simple. You can call out to any of your guides, or I generally just do a calling on Archangel Michael to protect me on all levels and make sure that any messages are for the highest good. You can call your guides, you can call pretty much any angels, any good energies out there, but making sure that you say that anything that comes through is for the highest good. It just stops any sort of psychic interference or any sort of weirdness. There's everything out there, like there's a lot of different energies in the world. It's not all light and love. We know this, we're grown-ups in this group, hopefully everyone's grown up in this group. It's not all light and love out there, and it is very important when you're accessing these things to just call in a bit of protection. So it's pretty much just like a spiritual disclaimer that I like to put out there. I use Archangel Michael. I'm not religious. Some people may really relate that to like the Christianity religion. It's just a very big energy. Hindu tradition might be like Lord Shiva or something, but that's the energy I work with, and it's super simple. So I'm really sticking to my notes here, by the way, so that I don't ramble at you guys. So let's go into, first of all, how I pull cards out. I know that I'm pretty much going to go through today the way that I do things. So I haven't been doing tarot for ages. I'm not like a professional tarot expert or anything. This is just personally how I do it, because I do everything intuitively, and I really, really, really want to encourage more people to do the same. So the first technique that I use, the main technique I use, I have called the popcorn technique, because it's where the cards pop. out of the pack. So I'm just going to do a demonstration. So calling on Archangel Michael, protect us on all levels and make sure the messages are for the highest good. Amen. And I'm just going to ask for, can I please have a general message for everyone that's watching? So I will ask my question first. If you don't have a question, you can just ask for guidance. So you can ask for daily guidance, you can ask for guidance for someone else, or if you've got something specific, you can ask a question. Try and stay away from questions that need a yes or no answer, because there is no yes or no cards in here. You need a lucky 8 ball for that. Okay, so you see how that card flipped over? Sometimes they don't pop all the way out. Sometimes they'll like fly and end up like this. Sometimes it'll literally flip over. If there's any movement like that with the card, just trust that that's the one for you. Ah, sunshine on a rainy day. You got the sunshine. Although on my cards, it looks like a giant butthole and it makes me laugh. Oh dear, not calling anyone buttholes. Okay, so sunshine's really, really lovely energy. It's like success. This is like freedom. This is playing outside. Some of you may have been playing outside in the snow today, spreading your wings. But yeah, so that card literally just popped out. So that is the popcorn technique. Now, if your cards, so these are really easy to do the popcorn technique with because they're small and you can shuffle them. By the way, if y'all thought I was going to be teaching you how to do all this business with the flipping and the, you need to go watch someone in Vegas because I can't do that for shit. Chris, have you ever drawn in something dark? That's a whole nother video. I've never drawn in something dark, but I work with a lot, I remove a lot of dark energies and entities from people when I'm doing healing. So yeah, there's shit out there. When the cards are too big, so a lot of you will be using oracle cards or even tarot cards that are too big for your hands. I mean, these ones aren't so bad. Let's get the big fuckers out. Some of them, I mean, look, this is bigger than God's face, for God's sake. Ooh, absolutely huge. These are actually a gift of my friend Linda. They're lovely. So when they're huge, like, I mean, I haven't got big hands anyway, but you're going to struggle to fit your hands around them and try and shuffle them. Also, a lot of oracle cards have this like funny shiny sheen on them, so they're going to get stuck together a lot more. So the techniques that I do, the main technique that I do with these is I divinate them, okay? So I'm going to show you how to divinate cards. Now this is going to involve really, really trusting your instinct. Don't second guess yourself and just go with your gut, okay? So you can shuffle them, you can cleanse them, do whatever you want to do. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask your question or you're going to ask for guidance and you're just going to split the pack in half like this, okay? Once the pack is in half, you're literally going to say to yourself, right, which hand? You might get an energy tingle on your hand, you might get some heat, you might literally just get an awareness or a sudden urge to pick one. I would suggest doing this really fucking fast and just go with literally the first one, because otherwise when I first started doing this, I would literally end up sitting there going, which one? Which one? Which one? And being like all stuck between them. So let's go with this hand. Once you've picked a hand, you're going to split them in half again. And again, be like, okay, which hand, which hand, which hand? Or you can sit and ask your question again and again and again. I'm going to go with this hand again. Split them in half again. You get the idea by now. I'm going to go with this one. And then once you get further down, so once you get to the stage where you can spread them out, literally fan them out, and whichever one, I generally go with whichever one catches my eye first, which is this middle one. You pull it out. The circle of life is what I got. Lion King vibes. So yeah, so that is how to divinate them. This is also good for if you're doing a reading for someone else and you want to divinate them. You can get them to pick the hands. So you can literally split them and like say to them, pick a hand, pick a hand, pick a hand. Again, encourage them to go with their first instinct. They might put their hand over the top of each card to kind of get a feel for them. But that's the method that I did first of all. These are the first cards I got. That was the method that I did first of all before the hot potato one, because these were quite big. There you go, Rolf gets a cold tingle when choosing cards. There you go, so hot or cold tingle or just some sort of awareness. But again, it's just really important that you get used to literally trusting your first instinct and not getting in your head with, oh, well, maybe I only picked that one because I'm like talking myself into it, or do you know what I mean? All the bollocks that you get rolling around in your head. So there's another couple of methods that that I also use. One of them is laying them out to pick cards. So I'm just gonna. Oh, that actually worked. Okay. So another method that you can do is you can like fan them out in front of you. Do, 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 do. And literally go along and just say, okay, I want this one. Again, don't question why you want them. You might want like past, present, and future. And you literally pick the 3 cards out and lay them down. You can pick as many as you want, obviously, doing this way. But it's another way of doing them, picking them intuitively. And then the last one, the last way is literally just going through the pack and picking them. So sitting here, again, there's absolutely no right or wrong with this. It's all intuitive. So again, you can just sit with them in your hand, or you can kind of pick through them, like splitting the pack, split the pack and say, okay, I want that one. And then split the pack again and say, I want that one. Or you can literally just sit and thumb through them, like, I think I'll take you. I think I'll take you. I know it doesn't seem like people, there's probably people watching being like, well, that doesn't seem very mystical or very psychic, or you're literally just picking cards out. That's the whole point. You need to trust that you're guided. You need to trust that you are gonna pull the right cards for you. Try it. It works. Like, you'll still get the right shit. Trust me. Okay. So let's go into more on actually reading what's on the cards. So I'm going to use my tarot for these just because these are the cards I'm most familiar with. Excuse me, my throat is like not fun today. So, as I mentioned before, with tarot, they generally stick to the same framework. So while I read intuitively, I do think it's valuable to still use the book when you're first starting out, or look up the things online. I still look them up sometimes, but I do for me because I don't get the same intuitive messages or psychic messages when it's myself. When I'm reading for someone else, shit just comes out like bam, bam, bam. So you may find that as well. If you're only just starting out, you'll probably find that you can read easier for someone else intuitively than you can for yourself. But yeah, so tarot sticks to a general framework, but if I feel strongly that a card means something, I'm gonna go with that versus being like, oh, but that's not what the 5 of Swords means from the book. So traditional tarot readers, if anyone traditional tarot readers are watching this, this might make you go like, eh, but it's the way that I do things, and I think it's a really powerful way of doing them because you can get much more of a narrative out, and you can maybe even start to channel through messages. So I am just going to ask again for general guidance for the group. So I'm going to see what pops out. The way that I lay them out as well, so there's a lot of layouts. If you look in the book that came with your cards, you'll find that there's a lot of different layout patterns that you can go for. I do intuitive laying out as well because I just prefer that to normal layouts. I just think everything's better when it's... Okay, we'll go with all of those. Intuitive. So I'm going to put this down here. What I do once I've got out all the cards I feel like I'm going to get out, I will turn them over and I will literally put them, like I'll literally put them where I feel they need to go. I always do a narrative with my reading, so I always go from recent past to current to potential future. So I'll literally sit here and I will I will move these around. New beginnings, abundance, stepping into your power. Cool. So I've literally, these probably just look, I don't know if you can even see that. I've got like past here, I've got current here, and then I've got going into future here. It's going to take a little while. If you guys aren't used to this, it's going to take a little while for you guys to start to trust yourself. This isn't something that just suddenly happened. I practiced it for quite a while and just got used to trusting myself of, okay, that feels right. And don't be afraid to sit there and look at them and go, actually, that doesn't fucking feel right. I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to put that there, and just move them around to where you feel. Okay, so with regards to how I actually read the cards, I pretty much go by the picture. So let's take this for an example. Son of Pentacles. anyone who, oh, I'm trying to bend it the wrong way. Anyone who reads tarot, I'm sure knows what the Son of Pentacle means. I actually don't. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But I'm going to look at this picture and I'm going to think, okay, how does it make me feel? I'm going to notice the darkness around that little guy's head and I'm going to think, oh, it feels a bit heavy actually. It's someone surrounded by darkness. They're kind of hanging their head down. And I might notice that above them is the moon. And I might think, well, the moon's pretty powerful. So maybe this is someone who's not recognizing their power. Maybe they're looking away from their power. Maybe they're blocked from seeing it. So there's all these different messages that you can get out just from that picture. So if I go with another example, Ace of Wands. So I might look at this picture. So again, this is just one tarot deck. Your tarot deck that you have will probably be completely different to this unless you have the same one and may make you feel different things. So with this example, if you can see that, it's like a growing twig or a wand. I call them twigs, it's really bad. It's like a twig with flowers growing off. You've got some amazing things that look like sunshine. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to think, okay, so flowers are about growth. So it's like kind of new growth going on there. And that stuff around the outside, to me, that feels like a really fucking powerful card. To me, that looks like some sort of superhero, like, bah, with shit flying off them, you know? So I might look at that and say, okay, it feels like it's like a new beginning, new growth, stepping into your power, shining your fucking light on the world. Okay? Yeah, I do swear this much when I read tarot, by the way. So let's see if I've got another... See if I can find a juicy card for you. There's another example. Oh, okay. So this is a good one. This is a good one that came out last night. So look at how cards interact with each other. Also, this is actually 2 cards that I pulled last night for myself when I was asking about my career. If you look on here, you've got this little mama, swan, and it looks like she's protecting her cup. And then all the other cups are broken. So what I got from this, it's like, okay, thinking about broken cups, why would she be protecting hers? You know the saying, like, you should always fill your cup before helping others? I was like, ah, shit, my cup's a little bit broken, and I need to shelter it and feed it with all of this energy. See all these energy around her? This is like a very mystical card. I saw this as energy, so it's like energy healing. So I took it as, oh, okay, so I need to do some energy healing on my own cup because they're a little bit broken before I can go back to working. Okay, so that's just a nice way of how they might interact. Another way of how my particular ones interact, as an example, if these 2 came out next to each other, notice how they are both looking in opposite directions. Oh, sorry, I'm missing all of the comments on here. Sorry, guys. I referred to the book. Yeah, no, it's good. It's always good to refer back, and then it does jog your memory for sure. So yeah, so these 2 guys are like facing opposite directions. So I might see from this that this guy is facing away from his power. So the Magician's a really powerful card. It's having everything in your corner. Sorry, it's really hard to navigate. It's like bloody doing it in a mirror. It's like having absolutely like all of the tools at your disposal, but you might be looking away from them for some reason. You're looking into the darkness rather than looking towards your power. If they came out this way, I might say that you're literally almost there. All you need to do is lift your head up. Do you see what I mean? Because he's now looking at this powerful card. I hope that makes sense. It's like my crazy brain trying to explain how my crazy brain works. But I think it's really important to look. If you don't feel confident enough doing the intuitive spread that I do, as in feeling out where they go, then just do a traditional, like, pop them all out and lay them down in the order that they came out, and just really start to try and build a narrative. Look at how they interact with each other. Another thing to look for, so in this pack especially, it's such a good example of it, you have a lot of cards in black and white, and you have a lot of cards in colour. So if you might get, for example, see, all these cards are very black and white, they feel very dark, and then things like this is all really colourful. So you may get a reading where you have a load of cards that kind of have the same sort of feel to them, and this might be like recent, past, or current, and then you ask for the future ones, and this shit pops out, you know that shit's gonna get better. See what I mean? It's literally like coming from black and white into the light, and there's all sort of all loads of connotations you can say with that in itself, in like feeling like the whole world is coming back into color, or feeling like life is being breathed back into the darkness. So there's a lot of different ways of sort of saying things and reading things. Let's have a little look. Another little, just another little tip or disclaimer. If you're reading for other people, like I don't know how many of you in here are wanting to sort of do tarot readings professionally or do readings professionally. It's always good to let people know there's a lot of misinformation out there around psychic readings and tarot readings. I always let people know that tarot is literally just a guidance, and it's only one, if it's future stuff, it's only one possible future. So like explain to the person not to take it as gospel, because you have you have like the freedom of choice. Something that really fucking gets to me and really annoys and upsets me, as I am a psychic and I do all of that stuff, is when I meet someone and they say, oh, you're a psychic. I saw a psychic once. She told me that I was going to die when I got to this age. Or she told me that my son was going to get ill in a couple of years. Or like some horrible, horrific thing that there's no way in hell, if they were working with something light and good, that would have come through. Do you know what I mean? So just make sure that you tell them that, oh, I'm sure no one in here is going to tell anyone anything nasty, but even with regards to, imagine someone asks about their future romance, and you get a really clear message through, if you're working with numerology as well, that it's likely that they will meet their husband in 2 years. Really important, like, get through to them that it's only one possible future. Otherwise, they might go on to a different timeline, a different life path, and absolutely discard everyone they date in that next couple of years, because they believe that in 2 years is when their true love is coming in, and they actually might end up missing out. Do you see what I mean? So even though you're passing through something good, it may end up having a bad effect just because of how it's presented. Sorry, I went off topic, well, not really off topic, but there's just a little, it's something that really worries me when I hear other people saying about psychic readings and they haven't put that bit in, and I just think it's really fucking important. Okay, let's see on my little pinpoints here. Mixing up packs and clarifying. So, let's say we have a bunch of cards down here. And let's say you've just done a reading, or you've just come across and you get to a card where you're like, I honestly just don't know what that's trying, like, why is that card in relation to my situation? I have no fucking clue what that is. So what you can do is you can try, oopsie doodle, I scrolled myself away. Am I back? Sorry guys, I tried to scroll on the comments and it scrolled me away. Yeah, so you can clarify that card. So if there's one that you literally are like, I have no fucking clue what that means, you can say, can I please clarify this card? And then again, go back in, do the popcorn technique, or the or any of the other techniques to get a card out, and you might get one, and you might still go, that's really not making any sense still, and get another one and get another one. You can honestly get as many as you want. Sometimes I get so frustrated when I'm reading for myself that a message isn't coming through. I'm like, but what does that mean? And I end up with like 7, 8 cards just to clarify one card, pretty much. But you can end up going that deep sometimes. You can also mix up packs. So you might do the main reading with a set of tarot cards, and then say, actually, do you know what? Someone might start talking about Egypt, and you might think, actually, you need an Isis Oracle card to clarify that. Or they might be someone who's particularly drawn with colour. You can use a colour card. So if you've got other packs, don't be afraid to just mix them in. You could say, I'm going to ask for the universe advice with this deck, or I'm going to have a clarifier of this deck, and just mix them up a little bit. Because, again, no fucking rules, and it's sometimes fun to just chuck them all in there. Let's have a look here. Okay, so clarify to go deeper. Okay, so the last thing before I open the floor for any questions that you may have. Sometimes, like, kind of along the same lines as what I said about knowing that things are only guidance and that you can always take a different path. Or also, things can't come through unless they're for your highest good. So even if you're a really clear psychic channel, like I actively channel spirits and extra dimensionals and all sorts, and I get some really fucking clear answers. But a lot of the time, someone will ask me a question that them knowing a definite answer to it would not be within their highest good. So we need to remember that even though it's amazing to have access to this stuff, we are still human and we do still need to experience stuff and feel stuff. Like if someone literally said to me, okay, I need to know when I'm going to die, or is this the right person for me with like love readings, and I'll often, even if I'm channeling, I may not get a yes or a no, I'll literally get a you can't know that. So if there's something that you're struggling with, again, I've been going through this recently, if there's something that you're struggling with and the cards seem to literally tell you two different things, so I've been literally getting, I'll be good if I make this choice, I'll be good if I make this choice, but they're not giving me any fucking choice on any guidance on making the choice, because it's something that I have to experience as part of my human journey, which is frustrating as fuck for a control freak like me who's also a psychic and wants to know everything. But yeah, so you can't depend too much on answers from the cards, but they are a tool, a really good tool for guidance. I hope that made sense, that little insane rambling on the end. This is just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently and getting frustrated with, because I seem to be able to get all the answers for other people, and when I try for myself, I'm like, but tell me please. Pretty much. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I had written down on my page. Do you guys want to ask me any questions? And would you like me to show you through my cards? We'll do questions first. If anyone's got anything at all you want to ask me about tarot reading, not for the tarot cards, because I'm definitely not channeling today. I'm all pooped out after my sessions. Any questions? I'm gonna get my other decks while we're seeing if there's any questions coming in, so that you guys can see. I've just lost my. I'm gonna end up with all my fucking cards out. So I don't think anyone's got any questions. Okay, Shay, no worries. If it's about tarot, can you? I'd rather if you did it in here and I can just answer it now, save me answering it later if it's not a private question, because it may be something that can help someone else, and then it prevents me from having to sort of reply privately to everyone. I've got quite a lot going on this week. My energy's a little bit stretched. So if you can ask it in here, that'd be amazing. Oopsie doodle. So, okay, while people are deciding if they want to ask questions, I'm just going to show you through a few of my decks, in case you're thinking that you want to buy a new deck, you don't know what you want to get. So, my first deck, Native Spirit cards. Thanks, Chelsea. These are Native Spirit cards. I love these because they are very Native American feeling and very shamanic feeling. I'll just show you the artwork on a couple of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm literally just going to show you a couple of each so you can see the artwork and get a feel for the energy. Really nice for beginners. Really beautiful, beautiful artwork on all of them. Really clear writing. They have really, really good book that goes with them that also has meditation tips on. So they are Native Spirit deck. If I go through these too quick and you want like a picture of the front or whatever to get them, just let me know. These are the most recent ones I got for Christmas. Oh my god, these are fucking amazing. Any of you who have past lives in ancient Egypt or have been working with Isis energy at the moment, I know a lot of people have done, or even anyone that's been working with like Shakti energy or any sort of powerful female energy. These are my absolute favourite cards. Can we just appreciate the fucking artwork on these? Like, honestly, these actually inspired me to start drawing. Like, they're just absolutely beautiful. Even the back of them, they're just so lovely. And they have really, really beautiful, powerful energy. Also, Oh my god, see, I could honestly do a flip through of this whole pack because I absolutely love them. The book, though, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. With regards to intuitive reading, one place that can come in really useful is when you get a fucking beautiful deck of cards and the book is a load of absolute wafty bullshit. Like, I got these amazing cards off my sister and I was really excited about them. The artwork's beautiful. The explanations in the book are absolute shite. Some of them, you get like a 4-line poem that has no guidance. Now, I'm intuitive as fuck, and I can normally take meaning from everything, but like, honestly, what was I got the other day? So I pulled the colour card, and it essentially told me to look out for what sort of colours I'm drawn to, and spend more time with them. Not why I was drawn to the colours, not like, there was just hardly any explanation at all. But then you look at the cards, and they're stunning. Like, they're absolutely beautiful. I feel that there's so much more that they could have written in the book about these amazing cards. So with Oracle cards, I do usually go a bit more through the book. But with these, I'm going to have to get familiar with them and pretty much use them completely intuitively. Just because, to be honest, I think the book's a load of bullshit. Similarly with the ISIS ones, the book is huge and has these ridiculously in-depth descriptions that are, again, just wafty, really wafty language, going off on like floaty, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, mate, you've just taken a page to say what I would say in a sentence. So I know that I have a quite a different style to a lot of people, which is fine. But I think that's where the intuition stuff comes in really handy, is because like the books sometimes don't resonate with you. Remember, the books are written by someone else, obviously. So the cards might resonate, the books might not. So yeah, so that's the Magdalene Oracle, the Isis ones. This is my Flowers Oracle. So these ones, again, pretty card, not much in the book. The book's written in about 1 million different languages, so they didn't really have a lot to fit in there. So I got these because I started getting flowers, when I first started having all my healing abilities open up. I kept getting flowers through for people, and I didn't really know what that meant, and I didn't really know a lot about flowers. So I got a Flowers Oracle deck, but if I'm honest, I hardly ever use it. But they do have nice energy, but they're not ones that I massively resonated with. But they are Flowers Oracle. And then I got my colour ones and I got my spirit animal ones. Do you find Oracle cards are harder to read compared to tarot? I find that Oracle cards are harder to read intuitively. If I'm honest, I do read the Oracle ones mostly by the book if they have clear, easy, straightforward descriptions. Because I'm super used to these, I do read them a bit more from memory and a bit more from feeling, but tarot cards I find a lot easier to read intuitively. Someone actually asked me at Waxham for a tarot card reading, and I didn't have my cards with me, and she said, oh, that's fine, I've got a deck, and now I use these crazy dark shamanic ones. She had a traditional Rider-Waite deck, and I was also a bit drunk, and I was like, I mean, I'll try and read them intuitively. And I gave her friend a whole reading, having never seen the cards before, and it was absolutely fucking bang on. Just because I literally trusted my gut instinct. I probably said completely different things that I would if I would have pulled the same sort of like numbers and suits in those cards. But I feel like, yeah, tarot's a lot easier. Rob, that's hilarious. Yeah, trying to do them in different languages and transpose them, that would be really confusing. So these cards, these are the white counterparts. So these are just fucking amazing. So this is my tarot deck. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. And this is the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal deck. And they're shiny. Oh, they're so beautiful. They're by the same artist, and they all come with this beautiful book in there. Really clear, beautiful descriptions. And they are pretty much the same style as the tarot ones. So, oh, that's upside down. So you see, but even with these, because they're so stylized, like obviously the deer is completely different to the energy of the owl. You can just tell by the colour, the darkness, how they're positioned. This lamb looks like he's tripping the fuck out. So yeah, that's the spirit animal cards. Massively recommend those. And the last ones are my secret language of colour. So these are good. Anyone who's interested in like colour therapy and stuff. And these ones are pretty much just straight up colour cards. So again, beautiful to work with. They're a bit, if you've got little hands like me, they're a bit awkward and clunky. But they're quite good for getting, like if you're doing a reading and you want the overall energy for the reading, they're quite good. I usually go for the bigger ones of those. Okay, so that is all my decks and all of my knowledge. If any of you think of a question that you didn't think of while I was live, feel free, or anyone watching the replay, feel free to just stick it in the comments and I'll reply another time. If any of you would like to book a reading with me, whether you want a reading with cards or a reading of me just channeling from spirit or beings, like more of a psychic reading, then let me know. Just hit me up in messages. And I am going to, not I hope to, I am soon going to do a live tarot reading in here. I got brave, I don't know if anyone's seen, I got brave and put up, I'm doing a live healing on Friday. So that's going to be the first time that I've like channeled while I'm live, because I'm going to be doing it all intuitively. So I'll be doing a guided chakra meditation to reset and balance your energies. And while I'm doing that, anything that I get called, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to tap into the audience at once. It's probably going to fucking exhaust me, but we'll see. I'm hoping that to everyone's energy and things that come up for them, I'm hoping that I can kind of heal in a group way. It's a bit experimental, but I think it should be really good and it should work pretty well. Yes. So, as long as no one's got any more questions, I'm going to disappear and go and have myself an Epsom bubble bath because my energies are all over the place today and I need to reset for tomorrow. I don't think any more questions. Okay guys, lots of love to you all, and I will see anyone on Friday who's coming to the healing. Bye guys, love you.